Hello, this is Teslon. I am in Murovanka South in my VK2801 for Lighthouse Series Anatomy of an Orliks, Volume 2. And this is just a series where I take Orliks medals and talk you through what I was doing that ended up giving me an Orliks. Happens most often with the 2801 because it's such a great tank for producing Orliks. The order of battle in this battle, we have 3 scouts apiece, 1 artillery apiece, 2 TDs on the enemy team, and 2 heavies, and the rest are mediums. They have a lot of mediums, fairly mobile. Meanwhile, we have 3 TDs, 4 mediums, and the rest are heavies. So we're not quite as mobile as they are. That could make a difference in how the battle gets played out. I'm going to start off, because I'm on the left side of the spawn, I'm going to go scout up the 2 and 3 ridge. I'm going to do a little half-court spotting run and see if I can see any of the enemy tanks moving over to the east or the west, so we get an idea of how many tanks are coming over this way. And hopefully people go to the edge of the forest and give us an idea of what's going that way. Because I started so far over to the west already, I'm probably going to get up here before I even see anybody, unless some of the scouts come at me. So I'll just make a little circle. There used to be bushes up here you could hide in and still spot, and it's just not as easy to do anymore. I could go over to the 1 line and go up that way, but I prefer to stay in the middle yet until I see what's happening over on the Magic Forest side. And it looks like we really aren't sending anybody there. We have 2 mediums there, but that's not enough to really fight a lot. And what concerns me is I've only seen a couple tanks over this way, the 103 and the Tiger 2, and that means they probably are overloading the force, and we really don't have a good defensive force over there. The mediums have already figured this out and they're retreating, which is really a good thing for them to do, because they're going to get overrun over there by themselves. And the 1390's beating feet now too. He saw the mediums leave and he's like, well, I'm not staying over here by myself. So at least I know we have those 3 players are somewhat intelligent, because they've seen the map and figured out what it meant for them. And that is, if we stay over here and try to defend the flank, we're going to get wiped out and probably not do a whole lot. So let's retreat, join the team. One of the things I've talked about in unbalanced deployment is sometimes the best choice is just to go back to your team and present a more sturdy defense once the flanking starts. I shot right over top of him. I don't really want to take a second shot here, because if I shoot low, I'm going to slam my own guy. He was filling up more of my hit circle than the enemy tank was. 1375 sneaking through right up the middle. He ran the edge of this ridge, and there he comes out right by the GW Panther. So he should be pulling some of these tanks back towards him, which means it's a good opportunity for us to press our advantage. When they're looking behind him, this is where everybody should advance. 152's coming through us in the middle though. I need to be careful of him, because he can take me out in one shot. I'm going to go in and try to flank him. Looks like the 1390's coming with me. This should be good. He's pointed the other way. We're going to be able to swing around him and keep out of his line of fire. I get a track on him. And 1390 just beats me to the kill shot. Centurion pops one in my butt as I leave. I'll get buildings between he and I, so he can't repeat that. I'm just not that kind of guy. And I'm going to move all the way over to the 1 line now and see if I can get a little flanking action on the 28 Proto and 103. We got a bunch of heavies down in the GH3 area that can take care of the Centurion for us. I think the Tiger II is concerned with the 1375, so I don't have to worry about him popping in on me. There, I get the kill shot on the prototype. Now for the 103. He wasn't smart enough to see that he was in a really precarious situation. People buzzing all around him. And it's just a matter of time till he dies here. And here he goes. Goodbye, 103. Second kill. I'm going to go up to the Tiger II and see if I can flank him as well. The enemy's starting to flank across the southern portion of the map. And as I move up here, everybody abandons the north. I was hoping to sneak by without the Tiger II seeing me, but he lights me up right there. And there's only the 704 in the middle, and everybody else has set up the defense for the flankers. So I'm kind of up here. The Bulldog's trying to come up the ridge and probably try to go around the back of me. If I get engaged in a prolonged fight with the Tiger II, I'm going to end up getting flanked by the Bulldog. So I really don't want to do that. But he's headed south now. He's not keeping his gun on me, so that's going to let me pop out and take a couple shots at him. I already have heat loaded as my secondary ammo, and it's going to switch to that because I'm shooting into the back of this guy. I'm either going to get a shot at his back or his side, so go for the big hit, and there I go. Third kill, and now for the first time in the fight I'm thinking, hey, I may have just got an Orliks. I'm not wasting time trying to look up and what tanks did I kill, is that an Orliks or not. It's just, I remember when I shot him, it's like, hey, I think I just got an Orliks. But I have to worry about the Bulldog. 704 is coming up the middle. I have maybe 2/3 strength. The Bulldog has a rapid fire weapon. I don't want to get engaged one-on-one with him because it's I'm not probably going to win the fight. So I'm retreating, going back to join my team, using the terrain to provide cover and concealment from the Bulldog as I go. And now it's down to just the Centurion in him. As I can approach the Centurion, he dies. So I'm going to wrap around and try to flank the Bulldog if he moves in on the on our 704, which it looks like he's going to try to do. If I time this right, I'm going to come out right behind him, get an easy shot. And there he is. Oh, even better, he's tracked. I'm going to shoot and ram, get the kill. Shoot, ram, dead, game over. 4 kills. So for the whole battle, I had 1,719 XP. It was an ace mission. Only got 2 spots because hardly anybody came my way in the beginning. I got 1,226 spotting damage with 4 kills, 1,257 damage, and my first 3 kills were all 2 tiers higher than me, so I get an Orliks. And like I said during the battle, note when I started, how many times did you hear me even mention an Orliks in my thought process? You didn't, because that's the wrong way to go into a fight. Now, this fight was very conducive for producing an Orliks, because if you look at it, 11 out of the 15 enemy tanks were tier 8 or tier 9. So the odds are good if I get 3 or 4 kills, I may get an Orliks in the mix because so many of the enemy tanks qualified. But it's not something, you shouldn't set a goal of saying, hey, 12 out of 15 tanks are tier 8 or above, I'm going to play for an Orliks. That alters the way you play when you think like that. And altering the way you normally play may end up costing you a victory. Now in this case we ended up with a really easy win, and really easy considering that the enemy overwhelmed the one flank. But I just caution you against saying when you look at the order of battle in the beginning, if you start thinking, hey, I can get this medal, or I can get this medal, or I'm going to play to get this medal, you do that at the risk of giving up a victory in your pursuit of basically what is a meaningless medal. Because piling up medals is just bragging rights. It doesn't really help you with extra XP or extra credits or anything. You just get a little piece of bling, and that's it. Bling doesn't do anything for your game. If you get into a situation towards the end of the game, maybe it's 10 of you and 2 of them, and you know that if you get one more tier 8 kill or tier 9 kill, it's going to give you an Orliks, and the outcome is totally not in the balance, okay, it's okay to think for it and play for a medal then. We all do that. Hey, I need one more kill to get a top gun. I'm going to go in and suicide if I have to just to get it so I get the bling. But never do it when it alters the way you play enough that it could produce a loss instead of a victory. If you play enough games, you're going to get Orliks. It's just going to happen, especially if you play with a 105, because it's great at killing high tier tanks. That's the biggest thing I have to say about Orliks. They're fun to get. They're totally meaningless. So don't go into a battle saying, I am going to get an Orliks, because that line of thought could very well produce a loss for you. Pursue victories, and the Orliks will come along the way. From Murovanka, south, knocking off 4 tanks and getting Orliks along the way. Happy hunting.